project management. So we'll start with if people are familiar with project, what is a project? Anybody wants to tell me what is a project? How do we differentiate? How do we call something as a project?
You can share your response on the chat actually. So please feel free to share response, make it interactive so that our speaker, Mr. Mushtaq, also will reply you accordingly.
Yeah, I don't hold your questions till end. We can have your questions earlier also, and this should be a more interactive session and not like a monologue. Okay, nobody knows what is a project. Okay, so as per the PMP definition or the Project Management Institute definition, it is a project is a temporary effort or endeavor. It has a start date and it has an end date. It cannot be an ongoing thing. If it is an ongoing thing, it's an operations. If it is the start date and an end date, and it has a specific objective. It is not without an objective. The project has to have an objective. It is trying to accomplish something. So if once that objective is completed, the project comes to an end, or when the end date is there, the project comes to an end. That's what the definition says, that it is a temporary endeavor. It's not a permanent thing. So every project we do will have a start date and end date. And you would probably have worked on something. Maybe it's not coming to you spontaneously, but everybody works on project, whether they are in project management or not. Now, what is project management? Anybody can tell me, like, if we know this is project, like, but what is project management? Okay, nobody. I'll come to that. Like, what is project management? Project management has a certain life cycle. Like, it's a when project management is like managing a project in a particular methodology. Like, you have initiation, you have planning, you have execution, you have testing, control, and then closure kind of thing. I'll come to it in the next time. Why should you have project management in an organization? I think that is one more question. Like, you can have like operations running, people do projects in operations also. There are like 5 people can come together, 10 people can come together, they can start working on a project. uh, what would be wrong if they do it without a project manager or without project management in the organization? Can anybody tell me, like, why should you have a project manager? Okay, so let's say you don't have a project manager. There are 5 people like in who are working on a project, and they are all doing their own job. Like, there's nobody who is coordinating between them, facilitating between them, telling them what needs to come first, what needs to come second. People may start doing something, a task like development task before even planning, or they start test strategy before they do actual development, or before even doing the design they might start development. So there are so many things people may like. There are four If there are 4 people, they could be doing 4 different tasks. And if there is no project management, they could be doing at a wrong time, wrong place, they may not be talking to each other, and you can have everything going into a toss kind of. So that's why you need a project manager who can get everything together. I think mostly whenever I heard a feedback in the project, when the stakeholders come and tell me, they always appreciate how we get everything together in a big picture, and we put everything in a piece, like in a jigsaw puzzle. We fit everything together and show everybody where they need to reach, how they need to reach there, and what all needs to be done at what point of time. And then whenever there's something going out of the hand, they pull the plug. Like, control also, they control the things when there's things are not going well. Now, most of the people feel that project managers are like, we feel only IT projects. That's not entirely true. Like you have project managers in construction for civil projects, and that was probably I think they started first before the IT project started hiring project managers. Then you have in healthcare also. Anywhere you have projects, any industry you have projects, you will have. It could be a civil project, it could be a manufacturing project, it could be an IT project. So there could be so many different kind of projects could be there, and they all hire project managers. It's not just IT which hires the project managers. I'll just pause for a minute for anybody to ask any questions. No questions? Okay, we'll move forward. So this is what I was talking about when I said what does a project look like. You have two different ways of managing project, and there's third, which is a hybrid of these two also. But these are the general ways which PMI generally defines. One is your waterfall method, where you have a project initiation, project planning, followed by execution, monitoring and control, and then closure. This is like a linear method where everything depends on the previous stage coming to an end. There's no parallel work going on generally. There's a lot of upfront planning, a lot of documentation, sign-offs, agreeing on the specifications, requirements. And this is a method we were doing for a lot of years before a few years Agile came into picture for some specific situations. And this is basically this one will be more suitable for something like a regulatory, construction, and manufacturing kind of projects where you need everything decided upfront. And like let's say construction, you need your specification of construction, your design, plan, everything done before you can start the construction. You cannot say I will not do all this and I'll start construction. Similarly, regulatory projects, you have all the requirements defined upfront. There's very minimal scope of change. Those kind of situation, I think the waterfall still works well. Where it doesn't work well is when you're doing some experimental work or you're developing a new product. The scope is flexible. You have fixed amount of budget, but you can deliver only a few things, and you can keep on changing what you want to deliver. In those kind of situations, the agile method is more suitable because it allows you to develop on an ongoing basis, iterative. You can have a list of items and you can keep on changing that list of items till it is not gone into development. They have short cycles. There's continuous feedback from the customer, and we do demos and we ask for feedback and we adjust if there's a need for it. There's a lot of involvement from the customer. And being the small cycles, it allows you to adjust the scope if you need to change. Like let's say there are 4 items in the queue, and you want at some point of time you're not started yet the third item or fourth item, you can change it if you feel that there's a change in the market, the feedback is different, you don't want certain features in the product. So those kind of situation is good to have this agile method. Now mostly people use both together now as a can say hybrid method now mostly, because you have a long-term planning for everything for a program, and then within that you have small sprints to deliver small features. That's how most of the organizations are working now. But still there are cases where there is still waterfall being followed, and there's still cases where agile also strictly is being followed. Now, what do you understand by initiation and planning and execution? So for example, like for I'll just take an example of this webinar. Like a webinar hosting could also be a project for you, a small project. It's a very small example of project. The initiation would be like when you will just have an idea. Okay, we should do a webinar on the project management. That's an idea. Then you initiate. Who will do this? Like who is the right person to do this? Okay, Mushtaq has project management experience. Let's ask him. Shoaib bhai will ask me. Okay, can you do this? And then he will have idea like when it should happen within 2 weeks, maybe it needs a lot of preparation or less preparation. Based on that you will say, okay, high level I want to do this in this month of this month of May I want to do this. uh, and what will like you will just have a high level scope saying, okay, I want to cover like what is the project management career path and how do you reach there and all that. So that will be your initiation, which will be like very high level idea of what you want to do, how you want to do, what when you want to. Once you have finalized that, then you will go into little more deeper planning, and you will go into little more detail, like what method we'll use. We'll have it on the online, offline, what day it will be, what time it will be, uh, how many participants we are expecting. All that detailed planning you will do, like when it will start, who will speak first, who will be second. So that detailed planning will come second. Then you will have execution. What is actual preparation or actual execution of the project? In this case, because we are live, this is execution. But in most of the cases, if it is a big event, you will do maybe a rehearsal. You will plan everything, you will do some rehearsal, and then you will see if everything is going well. Otherwise, you will monitor and try to fix the things which are not going well. And once it is completed, you will do the closer, saying, okay, what was it, good, was it bad? You will review, okay, how can we improve it next time? So that's a closer kind of thing. So these are the stages for any project. I just gave a very small example. The big programs could have much more than that. Any questions so far? I hope you are following. The questions, no questions means either you are following completely or you are completely not following at all. Which one is this? Can I get some feedback? Okay, seems like very easy. Okay, what are the career opportunities in project management? We'll go to the PMI and what is the new trends and all that separately. But let's see what are the roles in the project management. So you have basic project manager whose responsibility is to oversee project, manage teams, get the resources, ensure that projects are completed on time, within budget, the scope is delivered. Where you need like leadership, time management, budgeting, stakeholder communication. You need also some technical knowledge to be able to manage it well. It's not must have the technical knowledge, but if you have, you may be able to talk to the right people, right, ask right questions. If something is wrong, you will be able to find it very well. If you don't have that knowledge, you will be doing very generic troubleshooting for issues, which will be a little more difficult for you. So this is what the project manager role is generally. Now, next what come is like a program manager, which is the responsibilities are similar, but the program managers manages a program which has multiple related projects. Like, let's say we are trying to launch a new country for mutual fund, a new mutual fund in the country. So they may have multiple projects. There will be a marketing project which will want to develop the marketing material for the new product. You will have a finance project which will say, how do I set up this new fund in a fund accounting system? You will have maybe a HR project with what people I need to hire them. So there could be several projects which you need for a single related program, which could be all related to each other. This will be like achieving a broader goal. And so program manager will try manage multiple project managers, or he may directly manage some of the projects within that program as well. And sometimes it can happen that you are a program manager and you are managing all 3 4 projects together if they are small in size. Here I think you will need little more skills than project manager. You need strategic planning to understand the organization goal. The resource allocation becomes a little more important here because you have multiple projects. You have to decide which projects needs what and the interdependencies between them. And also the cross-functional team management, because you might have multiple different cross-functional teams involved in it, like HR, finance, marketing, legal, compliance, all those people, and then you have to manage all of them. In project, it may be that you are managing a project only related to one single area, and you may not have to deal with a lot of different teams which are cross-functional. So program manager goes little higher than the project manager. Then you will have portfolio manager. This is like managing a portfolio of multiple projects. Now, these projects could be related or unrelated. It could be my business line level, I may have 20 projects which I am supposed to oversee, not as a like day to day, but see that how they are going on, like are they on time, on budget, what resources they need, how do I allocate resources between projects. I have like finite number of resources. I have 10 developers, 5 project managers, and I need to assign them between these 10 projects. How do I do that resource management? So these key skills here are like decision making, prioritizing. If you have 10 projects, do I need to do all of them? Can I fund all of them? Can I provide resource all of them? Or should I only do 5 because I have only 5 project managers? Can these project managers do more than one project? So all that you will do, and you will also talk to the business and the sponsors to understand whether these projects which you are have in the portfolio are aligning with the strategic goal of the company, their business objectives. If not, you will drop some of them, you will not prioritize them. So you will do all that work in the portfolio manager's responsibility. This is more of like you are managing a portfolio of projects. The final one which is coming is the PMO, the project management office. Their responsibility is like defining and enforcing project management standards, like what life cycle you will follow in what circumstances. Let's say you are following agile, or you will follow hybrid, or you'll follow, in what cases you will follow waterfall. They provide governance, like what documents should be used, what kind of methodology should be used, and then they train project managers. They oversee project managers to see that if they need they have any development needs and all. So PMO is like supporting the project managers to deliver the projects. Now here the skills are like standardization of the methodology, documentation, creating some governance structures, and understanding the organizational strategies, and accordingly shifting your governance based on the organization strategy. There are more roles, we'll come to it, but these are the basic roles which are like classic roles which are here. Any questions so far on this slide? Okay, we'll go to next. What are the new roles we see now in the market? Like there are these 4 roles which are coming off late. They are not like completely new. They've been around, but now they're becoming more popular. Some have already become popular, and now they are declining in popularity also, like product owner and all. The agile project manager, which is similar to the project manager, but he leads using the agile methodology like a Scrum or Kanban, which is delivering the quickly small amount of value and adapting to the changing requirements. This like focuses more on collaboration. They don't get involved a lot in like the agile project managers become facilitator mostly. They are like planning and collaborating and improving continuously. How can we improve? They are not so much of like into what you have the typical project manager, which are like getting deep into the project for multiple months and years and kind of thing. This guy like play more of a coaching role for agile project manager. There are certifications for that, like CSM, Certified Scrum Master. We have PMIs, Agile Certified Practitioner, and this is scale, Agile at Scale, safe method also. So all these are different certifications which are available for specifically for Agile project managers. Then you have a product owner, which is again a new role, which is in the Agile methodology only, which is similar. Is like there's a little bit of overlap between project manager and product owner. They act as a like link between business and the development team. They define what are we trying to achieve as a product vision, and what do we want to build, and then they prioritize the customer requirements. Like we were saying, there's a stake of requirement. They keep on changing based on the business needs. They can keep changing the prioritization, what goes fast, what needs to be dropped, whether we need to build X versus Y. They do all that within the agile team, and they try to deliver maximum business value with whatever the budget or the timeline we have in the project. The delivery manager, which is next, is much like at a higher level. It's more of like a customer relationship manager, which is handling the customer relationship. When this typically for the service companies, is not probably going to apply to a capacity GCCs kind of environment we have in many of our organizations. But this is where you have a portfolio of projects being delivered to a client. The delivery manager makes sure that all the projects are being delivered successfully, maintaining quality, timelines, and customer satisfaction, and coordinating with the teams, clients, and operations. The last one is the transformation manager. This is again a role which is little kind of, you can say, coming up now. Basically, it's a project manager role also only, but kind of adding some more flavor of other stuff into the business transformation initiatives, such as if you have digital transformation or process improvement or organization changing. They work on a like scale with multiple projects under that transformation project, with multiple years of strategic goals and delivering on all those transformation objectives, on which include multiple projects. It could have 10 projects, 20 projects, and they could have some process improvements. They could have some tech, like new developments or existing changes, or everything could be included in that. These are like four new roles which have been other than the basic roles which we have. Any questions or concerns so far on this slide? Okay. So what do you need to do project management? What are the skills and the competencies for your success? Like I mentioned earlier, the hard skills are you need to learn some of these tools which are used for project planning, because project planning is the most important phase of the project, where you do a lot of planning for how you will do the work. The classical ones are like MS Project, Jira, Trello were ones. The new tools which you see off late are Asana, Monday.com, ClickUp, and even Azure DevOps, Notion, all that. I have not used all of them. I used only MS Project, Jira, Asana. That's all I've used. Not every tool I've used so far. But these are the tools available in market. Based on what your company uses or what your project uses, you can learn. These are easy to learn tools. Now they have good UIs, good trainings available online, and now you have Udemy and all, which can give you tutorials for this for maybe 500 rupees or what, end to end. So these are the tools you can learn if you want to go into project management. Budgeting and resource allocation is a skill. You can learn it if you are already on projects working with project managers. If not, some people have flavor of that. By definition, they can do budgeting. We do budgeting for our own home expenses, or for uh, our commute expenses, or anything in the life. We do budgeting. So it's a basic skill. People have it. You can use that for project management also. The resource allocation, again, this is one skill many people have. They're doing on an ongoing basis if they are managing a team or something like that. That also comes handy for project management. But one thing which I think, risk management is something which doesn't come very naturally to operations people or other people, which is very unique to project managers. They always look for risk, like what are the things which can go wrong with the project, which will kind of derail your project from delivering on time, on budget, or the scope which is you have defined. So risk management is one thing which is probably the most important part of the project management. How many risks you can define based on you can understand from all the stakeholders what do they think, brainstorm what risks they see, and then also document how would we mitigate those risks. Whether you will accept those risks, you will be able to mitigate, you will be able to uh, take advantage of it, or you will have to just wait and watch what happens. So there will be a lot of those risks which where you can do nothing, but you can do little bit. Sometimes you can do entirely. You can insure, you can outsource the risk. If there's a risk which is insurable, you will do risk insurance also. You may outsource some of the risk. So there are so many skills, and this risk management itself is a topic which we can cover sometime, but I'm just giving a little bit of flavor because that's a most important skill in the project management. Now, there are soft skills like I already mentioned in the previous slides. The leadership and communication being the most important, because you are leading a team and you are showing them the path. Communication is the most important thing, I would say. There's nothing like over communication in project management. How much you communicate it will decide whether your project has people a good understanding about how your project is going, and what if there are problems, or if there are problems, how to solve them. So giving status, or giving like raising heads up for the risk, everything is like communication. Day to day you will have meetings, you will have emails, you will have uh, you can say planning sessions, you will have lesson learning sessions, everything. Like you will continuously communicate with people if you are doing the project management. So there's nothing like over communication in project management. It can always be under communication or good communication. The other skill you need is problem solving and adaptability. Problem solving, because you will always have problems coming up in the project. How much or however you plan, you will have day-to-day problems coming into project, for resources, for issues coming on based on the external changes, internal changes. Something will be broken every day. So you will need that problem solving skill. You may not need to solve problem yourself, but you need to facilitate the problem solve. You will have to understand from people that what is the problem, how it can be solved, who needs to decide on what, who needs to act, where are the bottlenecks and all. So you, that will be the key skill for you on a day-to-day basis. Adaptability, obviously, because you will have to adapt to how the team is working. You will every new project will have its own new team, a new maybe country, a new objective, a new business line. The project managers don't have a fixed, you can say, working schedule. They don't have a fixed team, they don't have a fixed country, or they don't have a fixed business line. They could go across all these countries or business lines or teams. That's why they need a lot of adaptability. Every team works in a different way, so you need to adapt to their working culture. If you're working on a project in Europe versus when you're working on a project in India, the kind of ways of working will be very different. The way they work, the way they communicate, it will be very different. So you will have to adapt. The teams will not adapt to you. So the project managers has to have an adaptability as a key skill. And obviously collaboration, because you are getting the work done from the team. In most of the organizations, project managers don't have the authority over people. They are not the, like, the team is not reporting to them on a day-to-day basis. There are other managers whom the team reports. So you have to work with them without authority. You have to get the work done, and that only works with the collaboration. You cannot have saying, okay, I'm going to dictate the things. So these are the skills which you need if you want to be successful in the project management area of work. Any questions so far? No, I did not actually introduce you. I'm a program manager currently. Actually, I'm a manager now of the program managers in the Amazon, in the project management office of the FinOps PMO, which manage, and I'm managing mostly the compliance projects which are under my team. There are people who are managing the compliance projects, and I'm managing them. And plus, I'm managing myself some big programs as well, which are in multiple countries. I managed in Middle East, India. I managed the European projects, and currently I'm managing a Latin America project also. So I'm not in IT PMO. I'm in a business PMO. I worked in the IT PMO in the past. I worked in the business PMO also. So I know both sides of the stories. Any questions? Yeah, we'll come to the certification. Any other questions? So certification PMP is a globally accepted project management certification, and I will go to a little more detail into that. Uh, Especially US, India, they all accept PMP. Prince 2 is more acceptable in Europe and UK. You can do that if you want to, if you are working in that region and you want to only work in that region, because Prince 2 will not be much appreciated in the other regions like US. So PMP is more global if you want to do any global career in the project management. Then I spoke about Agile in the previous slide, like Scrum Master, SAFe. And then you have ITIL, which is Information Technology Infrastructure Library. This is more of if you are managing projects related to IT service management or IT asset management. This will be more useful, not for like program management and all. Okay, the question about the Scrum. The project manager profile is on the verge of declining nowadays as many managers, so they are in the position to handle the project by themselves. Actually speaking, the Scrum role is where the project management has a little bit of a risk. The Scrum, there was like a lot of people transition from the project manager to Scrum Master, thinking that they can do the Scrum Master role using the project management skills. Now, Scrum Master's role is very generic. It does not like it's not very similar to project manager. It has some similarities, but because Scrum Master's role can be done by anybody within that Scrum, it can be done by a developer because it's a coordination role. It's not really a project manager's role. So the coordination can be done by the you can say the developer, tester, even the product manager to an extent can do that coordination. So Scrum Master's role has been at the risk. We've seen a lot of people who are Scrum Masters got eliminated in many of the organizations when last year, I think, and the previous year also. So Scrum, but project managers roles, I have not seen a lot of people getting retrenched because now the projects, as we are getting into a situation where because of the use of AI, the number of developers on a project are less. The work is more, but the resources like the developers, testers, their number is less on the projects. The complexities are going up because of the way governments are adding more and more compliances, responsibilities on the organization. So the projects are now more complex with less resources. So the project manager's role is becoming more important in this case. Most of the big organizations, like when I worked for Amazon. Previously, I worked for Franklin Templeton, and any companies you see, big companies, I think they are deploying project managers in each and every area of work now, not only in IT projects, but in the even the operations side, on small projects also they are deploying project managers. So project managers' role is not going away. It is to an extent getting impacted by the automation and the AI coming into picture. And now there are small projects which are not very complex, like which can repetitive kind of projects, which we call like playbook projects. Let's say somebody is uh, every year you are launching a few products in market, which could be like a mutual fund or it could be anything else. So you're if you're launching a product in a country or multiple countries on an ongoing basis, the steps are very repetitive. Like although the compliance requirements could be different, the products could be different, but there is a lot of similarities in how you go about it. So those kind of playbook projects now they are being automated. Even in Amazon, we are doing some automation on those projects. Where if I was doing like a junior project manager was doing maybe two projects of that kind which were repetitive. Now because of automation, he's doing maybe 6 or 8 projects where he will not have to do a lot. A lot of these steps will be automated. He will only have to monitor what if there is something going wrong somewhere. He will step in only when a project is going wrong, it is going somebody is not doing his work on time, there's a delay, or there is some a change of requirement or something, then only he will step in. So otherwise he will not step in. So that those kind of projects are getting automated, and now because of the AI we are able to do many more projects than what we were able to do before the automation. So because of that, the project manager at a junior level, there'll be less demand, but at the senior level, there's more and more demand because of the complexities increasing and the also the headcount going down. So you have to get done more work at the with the less people and more complex work. So it is becoming more important to have the some experienced project manager who understand business and who can deliver within the small, like, with complexities with the less number of resources. Okay, the other question is about how should a project manager align himself in this period adoption. Yeah, this, like I said, that you have to adopt AI, and I'll come to that. Like AI is making some of your work easy. Like there are dashboards now, there are planning tools, which are even the meeting notes which you used to take. We used to spend some time analyzing what happened and all. Now that all we not don't need to do. So it is free. AI can take meeting notes. It can create some uh, initial documents, like first version of most of the documents. Now we are using AI to create. Let's say I have a text requirement document from for a compliance project. Earlier, somebody would have to go through all each and every page and check what is the requirement, whether it impacts my business or not. Now that can be done with an AI tool. It can tell me, okay, I see this 10 requirements for your business. So I don't have to go through the document, and I just have to refine that what AI is given. We don't use AI's output directly. That's one thing. Project managers don't use AI output directly. We review everything, adjust it, and present only which is relevant and accurate information. So that's one thing. But it does help, and some of the work which we are doing manually has been automated, or it has AI has helped us in getting some more capacity, which is being used in doing the more value added work in managing the stakeholders, managing these dependencies, compliances, and all that. So the complexities have gone up. So we are able to manage all that because of the AI helping us, freeing up some capacity. But it is not going to replace the project manager's role. Only it is going to enhance the role. Some of those, as I said, some projects which are very repetitive kind of thing, where the teams are same, the products are same, the steps are same. We are able to do automation to an extent. It is not entirely automated still, but some amount of maybe 50-60% of automation we are able to do based on AI now. So how will be the growth in the project management role? Now it depends on where you start. Like if you, some people start their grow project management career from either as a business analyst and they move into project management. Some people start as a what to say project associates, very junior level. So depending on where you start, if you are a business analyst, it's some natural transition to project manager, and you also have some background knowledge of the business. You are also able to relate to the things already going in project. So that could be an advantage. I started my career as a business analyst, not directly, but I had like 5 years in business before I moved into business analyst role. And within a few 2-3 years, I moved into project management. The growth is there definitely if you are like, depends on how you go about your own career. If you go through the certification plus you always take up stretch assignments, you can have growth. But if you want to just do what is coming your way and not improve yourself or not stretch yourself, definitely there will be no growth. What kind of roles are there? Freshers and people who are looking for career change. Freshers, I would say they will have to start with maybe a project associate level role. Project manager role could be there for only people who are coming from the very elite institutions like IIMs or like top 10 institutes. They can get directly project manager job, but most of the other graduates will not get a project manager's role. They will have to start with like associate project manager or a project associate and learn slowly as a helping somebody, and then starting with a small project and then become project manager. But if you're coming from a good institute, you can directly come into like a project manager role also. Yeah, I'll come to the PMI. What is the requirement and how do you get? Okay, how to become project manager and how to, yeah, we'll come to that next. The roadmap, I'll come to that also. We have some slides on this. Okay, let me go ahead. I think we'll probably not be able to finish otherwise. So, how to build a career in project management? The first thing I think is to gain experience in the project role, either as an intern or as a another role in the project itself. If you have worked on the project, it's very easy to go for the exam PMP. You will have a context how the projects work, and also transitioning from an existing project role, it is easy for you to go into another project management role like business analyst, team lead. I spoke about it. What also counts is the networking and the professional development. If you are already you want to go into that role, you can explore what are the opportunities in your company. There will be always some project management roles for internal transfers. So if you start working on project roles or shadow your project manager, if you are already working on a project role, let's say you are a business analyst. I started as that, and I was shadowing the project manager to the extent that when some project manager will not be there, I'll be able to run the meetings independently, get status updates and meeting notes and everything I would do. And eventually it happened that when project manager was asked to leave because of the 2007 recession, they asked me to take up the project manager role naturally, because I knew everything about the project and they knew that I could manage this in the absence of the project manager. So it will be a natural transition for you if you are already doing some kind of shadowing. Otherwise, you will have to make a lot of effort to get into that role. The education and certificate, which I'll come into next, like we said, PMP, Prince 2, and Agile project management, all that you can get that certification. But that certification itself will not, it's not like you have done certification so you can apply for a project manager role. You have to have some background and worked on project, done some little shadowing of project manager, then only you could probably move into that role. Okay, so what is the so now coming to PMP, like how do you go for PMP if you have not already gone to it? If you have gone for it, we'll come to that separately. What is the eligibility criteria? You need to have a diploma or degree. A master's is also better, but minimum you need to have diploma and bachelor's. What is the experience requirements? You need, if you are have a degree which is this PMI accredited, accredited. This is like a bachelor or master of science in project management, or you have done a BBA or MBA with project management specialization. Then you need only 24 months of project management experience. If you have done only bachelor, you need 36 months, and if you have done diploma, you need 60 months of projects. Now, this is, they say leading projects, but it's not necessary that you must have led the project. You need project experience, that you have worked on a project on any role, one of the role. That should be good enough for you if you worked on it. Then you also need to go through a 35 hours of PMI's credits, which now you can get online within 500 rupees with Udemy and all. You don't need to go. If you want to attend a physical class, it may cost more, but and it can help also if you have a good trainer. But I found it is most of these trainers who are in the market, they're not good enough, and these online classes are generally better than this uh, in the classroom trainings. Okay, what is the exam structure like? You have like 180 questions, 230 minutes. The question types are multiple choice, multiple answers, matching, hotspot, like drag and drop, and all that questions. But what you need is really is a conceptual clarity and some context experience that will help you in the exam, because the questions they ask are very practical and very confusing. If you're not worked on a project, it will be very difficult for you to relate to how, what to do in that situation. When I go to this exam, sometimes I also get confused with those multiple choices. So it's, if you're conceptually clear, it is easy for you to answer those questions. The pricing criteria, PMI does not publish anything. They say a psychometric analysis, but there's a fixed percent. There's some minimum percentage you need in the each of the area, which I will come to the next, and plus overall some 40-50% of cutoff that you need. They don't publish it, but it's more of a psychometric analysis. And what does cover? They cover the people management 42%. How do you manage people in project? How do you, what processes you follow, and in what situation what process should be followed is around 50% of the questions. And then you have some 8% of business environment related questions like uh, what do you do in this business environment versus that environment. So those kind of questions will be there. What areas it covers? It covers all the this knowledge areas in PMP, like this integration, scope, schedule, cost, quality, resource, communication. These are all in itself their own management. Like you, when you are managing a project, you have a schedule plan, you have a cost management plan, schedule management plan, quality management plan, risk management plan. So all these are in itself independent plans within the project management. So these are the areas you need to know, and these are all covered in the PMP book. And if you are only working on the project, you will know some context about them also. Some may not apply to you in your day-to-day life. Like if you are doing a project which does not have a procurement, external buying or something, you may not have the procurement management experience, but it will still be covered in the PMP. So now what's the preparation tips for you? Like unless you have practical experience, in my opinion, it is difficult to crack PMP. You may be able to do some mugging and cramming, but I don't generally advise people. I advise people to gain practical experience and able understand the questions, answer them based on the situation. You should go with the study materials. What should you follow? The seventh edition is the latest PMBOK guide. But if you don't like the PMBOK structure of the guide, you can follow the exam preparation by Rita Mulcahy, which is easier to follow. I was following this Rita Mulcahy, and I didn't ever read PMBOK when I was doing my preparation. You have agile practice guides. Now PMP also uses, PMI also uses a lot of this agile practice questions also. So you need some experience or some knowledge about agile methodology also. What should you do? You should enroll in a PMP exam prep course if you want to, uh, physically or online. And that will be good for you if you are preparing, because sometimes people who don't have experience, it's hard to do self study. Create your own study schedule, and then practice examination content. You will have mock exams which are based on the content outline, which is based on the PMBOK. Those you mock exams you should take once you have done the preparation. Just do some simulation exams, and once you feel that you are at the good passing level, 2 3 mock exams, then you could go for the final exam. Because if you don't clear it, you have to pay the fees again second time, some amount. So you must get prepared before you go there, otherwise it will cost you another exam. This is not a guarantee for passing the exam if you are appearing for it. And now, as I said, the scenario based questions and agile is the focus now. So you should always focus in this practice exam whether you are able to understand the scenario based questions and agile related questions you are able to answer or not. There are two more things which I want to go, but before that, I wanted to answer some questions which I think have come up. So this question, Asad, I think you are working in the telecommunication project manager. Have you already completed your PMP? Okay, I would say you do some certification, and also once you have certification, you can apply for any next level roles. And also, I think in most of the companies, if you are already doing the project manager management, what qualifies you to go to the next level is that you do the work of the next level. I think that's how they promote you if you want to get into the next level. Whatever level, whatever career next step you see in your career, you should start doing that role already. When you're taking that responsibility, only then you will be considered for that role, whether it is within the project management or outside, based on where you want to go. You want to go into product management, or you want to go to program management, whatever your interest is. Based on that, I think you need to start doing that work before you can move into that role. So the last question, I think, is before that, I see, please tell us how to get recommendation for getting a PMP job. I didn't understand that question. What does that mean? Whereby, can we unmute people so understand the little more context on this question?
Yes, yes. Are you done with the content, Mushtaq bhai?
There are two more slides. I'll just cover them quickly. There.
Maybe first you cover that. At the end, I will give option for everyone to unmute. And
Okay, fine. So,
yes,
there are some of the modern practices. We covered agile and hybrid project management already in the first slide. What is also being focused is what is the value you are delivering now. That's a lot of stress on that whether the project you are working on is contributing to organization or not, whether it is increasing the customer satisfaction, is it aligning with the long term goals of the company, and how much you are adding it to it. Like that is very becoming very important. Like projects are being questioned. Are these projects, what is the outcome? We are tracking like key performance indexes in project. What is that you will deliver as at the end of this project? What will it improve for this company? And then we are asked to also provide that 3 months down the line, did it achieve what you were targeting for to achieve in terms of improvement in KPI, customer satisfaction, maybe the customer acquisition. You are developing a new product and you said this product will have X amount of sale. So is it delivering what you are saying? That's one of the area now under focus. The second one is about the stakeholder engagement. Now the project managers are already doing the stakeholder management, but more and more stress is on the engaging the stakeholders, because many of the times we do some projects and people don't adopt it. Like we create a new website or internal tool, people don't want to adopt it because they don't see any benefit for them. So in that situation, you have to do some kind of change management, help the employees adapt to the new system, process, or technology, communicate with them, engage the stakeholders across the life cycle of project, inform them what is going on, how it is important to them, being transparent in the communication, gather their feedback, and also make sure that stakeholders are informed of each and every decision. So these two areas are becoming very important now. They were not so much, they were there, but then stress was much less, and now it is becoming much more today. I think some of this we spoke about the future trends in project management cloud. What is AI doing in project management? Like we have AI powered tools which are assisting us in the risk prediction, schedule optimization, and resource planning, even the performance tracking. We are creating like dashboards to track what is going on, like data driven decision making. We have dashboards to track the KPIs, predictive analysis we are doing to understand how this particular project will end up if with the same kind of resources and the same time of completion we have. Reporting tools are right now data driven. We're identifying the risk based on the data. Everything we are doing, data and AI. But after all, this is all just an input for us. The decision making is with us. How do we use those tools is what with project managers. Unless you have the experience and the skills to use that, you cannot really do anything more with this AI in project management and data in project management. The hybrid work management, which is I think now for 5 years now, with after COVID, people are some are virtual, some are in office. So project managers have to manage the schedules across the countries. They have to be very adaptive and also convince other people to make sure that they also become adaptive when you have multiple time zones, multiple people working virtually and in office. How do you manage all of them? You create your culture which is little more collaborative virtually when you have people in virtual locations as well. Agile now is becoming at scale. Now people want agile to be applied to the large uh, enterprise level, as with multiple and interconnected projects and teams, which was like we saw that the project agile works is for small teams which are delivering fast. And now there's an emphasis to take it at the organization level. So there are new frameworks which allow you to take the agile at the scale, and there are certifications also available for that. One more area which is in the, especially in the some of these energy companies and the financial companies, is this ESG and sustainability. So now this kind of projects are also coming where we have to implement the goals which are related to the social responsibilities, regulatory requirements for the pollution and the social responsibilities, green technologies, energy efficiency, and ethical governance and all, and balancing them with the business objective that you, because these things may not have the direct business benefit, they may have indirect business benefits. So balancing between these ESG projects and the cost of doing these projects is also becoming important. And I think we spoke about the transformation programs, which are large scale and cross functional, which becomes important when you are managing as a program manager in large organization, when we are adopting the cloud computing or AI automation across the organization, the ways of working are changing. Then this kind of programs come into picture, which are multi-year, multi-team, and there are multiple program managers also. The working into those kind of organization is also becoming important for all the project managers. So this was the last slide. I think we can address some of the questions we already have, get more context, and maybe conclude this after that.